But for any management, for any professional, when you come on a television channel and if the anchor is saying the stock has hit an all-time high, well, the expression is going to be priceless. That's the expression I want to capture on Rakesh Sharma's face right now, with the zing in his voice and with the phrase that Bajaj Auto really has surprised the critics and the stock is at an all-time high. That's a lovely way to start the interaction, right? Bajaj Auto stock at an all-time high. 4-digit, 3-digit has become 4-digit and now 5-digit.
Yes, good morning. That is your perspective. I've got a whole lot of things to attend to. So this is, I can tell you, not the first thing on my mind when I roll into office.
Happy feeling, right? It's a happy feeling. It's a great feeling. That you can't deny.
Of course, for all of us. It's a matter of pride.
When I spoke...
And so has been the case, Rakesh, with your CNG bike as well. We hear that already 2 months into it and it's a big hit, right? Freedom 125. Any numbers you can share with us?
Yeah, sure. It's been received very well. In fact, what is most delightful is whatever has been designed as the delivery has been almost exactly as per the design. The customers are experiencing the significant saving because on their fuel bill. They are finding it very convenient and comfortable to ride because of the long seat and the suspension. They are feeling very reassured about the biofuel technology, which gets them a 300-kilometer plus range. The toggling between CNG and petrol has been almost friction-free. And on top of all this, the styling is very well appreciated, and it's a standout styling. So on all those parameters, we've been talking to the first 1,000 customers in depth, and we have received very good feedback from them.
How many?
August, we were in about 60% of the addressable market, which means those markets which are served by the CNG network. By September end, we should be covering about 80-85%. So we should be in about 290-300 towns which have CNG. Currently, our bookings are almost 15,000 units or so. And we are hoping to be able to bill about anywhere between 17 to 20,000 units this month, which is quite a jump from last month.
The general perception with market is that two-wheelers means rural India. Rural India means rainfall. And rainfall, if monsoons are better, rural demand will come back, and rural demand comes back, two-wheelers will do well. But touch wood, that has not been the trend. Rural demand started coming back from April and May onwards, and two-wheeler sales have started coming back from last 6 months. So what has changed for a sector which, let's say 12-18 months ago, was struggling because of domestic demand conditions? And you also gone on record and said that suddenly there seems to be a complete change in terms of demand and in terms of rural, offtake. What has changed?
I would not like to cleave it between urban and rural. The monsoons have such an impact that not only deep rural, but they affect semi-urban and urban areas also in our kind of segment. They have a very good monsoons, have a very uplifting effect right through in our kind of the two-wheeler and three-wheeler customer base. Actually, the origins of this revival are, at least 2 or 3 quarters ago. And I've been saying that fundamentally, this revival is sitting on the revival of the economy now reaching the pockets of our kind of customer. 70% of our customers earn a monthly income of about 30,000-40,000 rupees per month. And post-COVID, they were quite battered. Their savings had got hammered. And when the post-COVID recovery started, it started from the top. And by the time it has affected this category of customers, it has taken that much long. And that is what fundamentally we are saying. Now, on top of that, good monsoon releases some optimism, a nice budget, which did affect optimism positively to these people. All these things are add-on. But all this is sitting on the fundamental economic recovery now reaching the bottom of the pyramid.
Also, when we spoke to you last, you said that look, we are investing heavily in the EV space, and the customer will have the option to choose whether they want ICE, they want CNG, or they want EV. For Bajaj Auto, do you think these three platforms, if I can just broadly divide them into ICE, EV, and CNG, can they coexist, or ultimately you would take a decisive, move this way or that way once you know which way trends are moving?
It's a very good question, Nikhil. There have been a lot of shrill pronouncements all over the place about gasoline going to die, and not just in India, but in several parts of the world. Our view is that these kind of pronouncements are very self-serving, and they ignore the very diverse customers, particularly in India. There are very different use cases. There are some people who want range. There are some people who are not able to charge. There are some people who are overly led by the value or the savings in fuel bill. Then there is the whole challenge of the environmental impact and the forex burden from the government side. So what we think is that there is no one silver bullet which will, solve all these problems, both on the government, society, and the consumer side. To address these use cases, you will have coexistence of ICE, or let's say gasoline, CNG, EV, and I would say on the horizon is also ethanol. If there is a significant push from the government, which envelopes all the sugar factories, etc., and ropes them into this, then ethanol, which is a very big play in, for example, a country like Brazil, we could see all this combining to solve the issues which the society, the government, and the customer are facing. So, from where we are, we want to maintain our agility to toggle between these fuel systems. And I must tell you one thing, that even today, our three-wheeler business, our three-wheeler dealerships offer LPG, CNG, diesel, petrol, electric, and in due course of time, ethanol. So that's already happening. And then we leave it to the customer to decide. But we want to retain the agility. We don't want to take a position and then try to artificially drive the customer one way or the other.
And like you said, what the fuel of the future is going to be is just such a fast-moving variable. You don't know, and so many options as well there. But tell me, at your end, and I'm specifically talking about the CNG bike right now, Rakesh, what are the plans currently to ramp up your production? And do you see that kind of demand bump up?
Yes, certainly, we are looking at the demand uptick quite optimistically based on the early feedback. August is the first month where we sort of engage with the customers in a few more states, and that has been very, very positive. In our case, we are looking at a calibrated expansion because we are conscious about the investments which not just Bajaj Auto has to make, but even our vendors have to make these investments. So currently our capacity is about 20,000. We feel that we should take this up to about 40,000 to 50,000 in the final quarter of this financial year, which is January, February, March. We will continue to monitor, and if it seems that even that capacity is going to run short, then we will take a call by, let's say, November, December, whether we need to invest in some more capacity, so that by the time we are on to the next season, which is next October, we are very fully equipped. So it's going to be a calibrated expansion, but it is looking like sharply upwards.
Quick word, Mr. Sharma, from you on the PM E-Drive scheme. They've got a capital outlay of about 10,900 crores, really looking to quicken the EV adoption. How are you looking at the scheme with respect to the industry, with respect to Bajaj Auto itself, and what does it spell out for your EV portfolio as well?
Well, foremost, I think it's a really bold move. For an OE, the most important thing is not the quantum of the support to the customer, but it is the certainty in the policy. Because, living by quarter wreaks havoc in terms of making the right kind of decisions. The whole decision-making process gets distorted. So the government has gone out and said that, this is a policy for 2 years. That signals not just, a financial or a commercial certainty, but it also signals very powerfully where the government stands on this, the development of the EV industry. So that's fantastic. The details have not yet come out, but back of the envelope calculations suggest that there is considerable continuity for at least two-wheelers and three-wheelers, which we monitor closely. And this is certainly going to drive the transition from ICE into EV. It will support that transition, as has been happening. The third thing which I would actually like to call out is that there has been a pretty healthy discussion between the government and the industry through SIAM, and there has been a lot of back and forth. And because of that, the last 6 months, where FAME 2 was getting over, then there was elections, then there was the budget, and then the new policy. These fault lines were navigated brilliantly through EMPS. So really, a few years ago, we would have all been biting our nails about this. But I think all these significant periods, which could have been very disruptive, were navigated effortlessly because of the EMPS scheme. And now we have seamlessly moved into the PM e-drive, which now combined with the PLI makes a solid case for the transition. And lastly, what I would say is the importance of this signaling, which is there from the government, is that this will create an ecosystem of good EV products and will enable us to, advance globally. That is what has happened. Today, the two-wheelers and three-wheelers from India have got a significant global presence. And in the EV side, we just have got one key competitor, which is Chinese origin brands. And having a solid, big domestic market means that we can attack the world markets with a lot of confidence and capability.
All right. Thank you so much for joining in. Good having you on board, getting a sense as to how things are shaping up and what the industry outlook is as well.
Thank you.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.